We begin here in Kenya, where at least 12 people, including Kenyan army soldiers, have been killed in two separate attacks linked to the al-Shabaab terror group. This happened in Lamu and Garissa regions near Kenya's border with Somalia. The attacks happened on Tuesday. The 6 soldiers were killed after their vehicle hit an improvised explosive device at Bodhei area in Lamu County. The officers were patrolling the area. The other 6, who were police reservists, died while responding to another attack in Garissa. The al-Shabaab terror group has been carrying out attacks in Kenya due to its military intervention in Somalia. The insurgent group, based in Somalia, is opposed to the Somali government. Well, CGTN's Robert Negela is joining me here in studio, bringing us more on this developing story out of Kenya. Robert, the number of casualties from those twin attacks in Kenya, it was feared could increase. What do we know?
Well, Beatrice, first of all, the deadliest of those attacks happened in Garissa County in northern Kenya, where a vehicle carrying 6 of those soldiers was hit or went over an improvised device, an IED, killing all 6 of them. Now, the impact was so deadly that their bodies were burnt beyond recognition. When other officers responded on the scene, they were unable to identify those officers. So an identification process is currently ongoing. Then there was the other attack where the 6 other officers still in Garissa County were responding to an al-Shabaab attack and were killed then. But just hours before that, in the neighboring Lamu County, we had another attack where suspected militants fired a rocket-propelled grenade at police officers on patrol. And hours before that, we had a bus carrying passengers in Lamu County as well that was sprayed with bullets by suspected militants. So you've got about 4 attacks on the security officers and officials, and there are some concerns that we are probably seeing some sort of escalation from the militants. So
those concerns, Robert, because there had been a lull in deadly al-Shabaab attacks in Kenya in the recent years, and this is all coming even as Kenya announced the gradual reopening of its border with Somalia. I mean, are the latest attacks a pointer to a security risk now here for Kenya?
That would seem to be the case. Look, government officials are not really talking about this spate of attacks that we've started witnessing. There appears to be an increase. On the face of it, they appear sporadic, but the number of attacks happening almost now on every couple of days is beginning to cause some concern within security circles. Now, it could be for a number of reasons. We're not really sure because the government officials are not talking about it. We're not sure if there's any break within the intelligence that they are receiving to tackle this. We're not sure if the situation in neighboring Somalia also has something to do with this. So there could be a number of factors as to why we're beginning to see a sudden increase in the number of attacks in northern Kenya.
And all this is coming even as African Union troops begin a gradual exit from Somalia. What will this mean for security inside Somalia, though? Well,
first of all, there's been a renewed push by the government over the last 12 or so months within government and allied forces to push al-Shabaab back and take control and regain control of territory previously controlled by al-Shabaab. And that has been seen as largely successful. Now, whether that has poured over to neighboring Kenya, that has yet to be determined. But in Somalia itself, we're getting to a situation whereby officials from neighboring countries now feel that because of the training and because of the push against al-Shabaab, that Somali forces are now ready to take over control of their country. There are still some questions as to how ready they are and in terms of what sort of equipment, whether they're adequately equipped to take on al-Shabaab, because it still is a potent threat. Make no mistake about that. We've seen that with the recent attack, attempted attack in Mogadishu. So they are still a potent threat. No, everybody knows that. But there's a feeling that gradually they should be given control so that they can assert their authority around the country.
Robert Negela, thank you very much for that update from Somalia.